So you saying that lady bungled my case?
Yeah, the public defenders are doing the best they can. But the governor cut their budget, so Miss Cross couldn't afford eyewitnesses.
What do you say? I'm getting your trial if I join this class action.
We're getting
Hi guys, it's currently 8:15, approximately 13 hours before my second physiology exam. This exam is probably going to be the most difficult exam of the first semester. This exam covers cardiology and respiratory. So those are two of the most critical organs in patient care. Your heart is what's going to keep you alive, and your patient needs to be breathing, and you need to know what medications is going to affect the heart rate. I've been kind of exam chasing, which means that for the upcoming exam, I just focus on that exam and I study for that, and I fall behind on some of my lectures. And I mean, it's bound to happen. You can stay on top of your things, but unfortunately, I have not been that structured and organized in order to stay on top of everything. So I am unfortunately exam chasing, but I definitely wanted to dedicate a lot of time to this exam because I know how difficult these concepts are. So in order to study for this exam, I read BRS, which is a board review series that kind of just summarizes all of the main concepts and the key concepts that you need to know for this material. And I also summarized it myself by writing it down and color coding it. And also, and after I do that, I go back to the lectures where I have my lecture notes and I fill in any additional information that's provided in the lectures that wasn't provided in BRS. And after that, I usually save at least 2 days to review questions. I use questions from pretest as well as BRS questions. And it's really important to review questions because you can know all the material, like the recall information, what's this equation and what's that equation. But if you can't apply that to a clinical situation, that's where you'll be stumped on the exam. So doing practice questions is a must for physiology, especially. So yeah, so as far as cardio, what we're learning now, it's basically cardiac output and stroke volume, how much blood is being pumped through the right side or the left side of the heart, which valves close, when do they close, which action potential occurs before contraction of a ventricle or the atria, when do the pressures get higher or lower, how would certain graphs look if a patient had valves that were defective, and what would be the partial pressure of oxygen if a certain patient had a certain pulmonary disease like asthma compared to emphysema or fibrosis of the lungs. It's also knowing how to read an EKG and knowing which curve represents what's going on in the heart. So that's another thing. And then also there's math, which I'm kind of like, ugh. It's very basic math, but it's just the fact that I have to memorize these equations, and it's like, I thought I dodged those when I got into med school, but here they are. So I have no choice but to memorize those equations. So I'll be doing that for the rest of the night. Honestly, I have a lot of the conceptual things down pat, but I think it's just like memorizing a lot of the equations and what else? Memorizing a lot of the equations and just like differentiating like which disease would correlate to a certain like defect, and knowing what goes up, what goes down, those type of things. Those minutia things, those are the things I need to get into my long-term memory. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of the night, and also reviewing more questions as well. So you can watch me as I study in these 12 hours, and yeah. Welcome back to my channel, Madam Winnell. So today I'll be revealing my exam score from my second physiology exam. I'm kind of nervous, but I think I did um, pretty well, but we shall see. The only thing is that last year when I took this exam during my master's year, this exam was a hot mess. Like, it was just a hot mess. So I thought this was a really important exam because the heart and the lungs are vital organs that you need to know how to treat and monitor to keep your patients alive. So um, I put this exam at a high pedestal for me, and I just really wanted to do well. So let's see how I did. Okay, let's see. Um, Seriously? Hold on. Where is it? Eight. Really? I don't know. I ain't showing y'all.